Hey y'all, hey, welcome back to my page, y'all. Welcome to the replay. You will not see a red box right there if you're on the replay, so just come on in, y'all. I've got a screwdriver that we're going to use on a serving tray today. When you hop on, say hey. Let me get this going. I've got a new surface. Yeah. This is the new serving tray, and I thought I would show it to you today. So come on in. When you come in, hit the heart button, y'all, and make sure that you comment the word tray, T-R-A-Y, and let's get this party started. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I am. So let me do the things. So I did pin a comment below, y'all. It tells you what to do. All right, so we're gonna get started. In the package, in your package for the tray, you are going to get the board, and you're going to get 2 little bags, and in each bag there is like the handles and 2 screws. Okay, so I did open one of them just to show you. Plus I wanted to check out what the screws looked like to make sure I had the right screwdriver, and hopefully I do. But you get these 2 itty bitty screws and the handle, so times 2, all right? So let's get started. This is gonna be fairly quick. We're gonna use this, y'all. I have not used this. It is Elegant Flourish pattern. It is a size D, 18 by 18. We're gonna take it out of the bag by crawling our fingers across this little flap and removing it, okay? I'm going to set that aside, and let's write the word back on here. B-A-C-K. All right. Let me dry that so it doesn't smear, because it might. Hey, friends. What are you doing today? I know, Barbara, I am loving my new schedule as well. Let me take this off. I forgot to look at my sign. In my head, I said, take off the watch, take off the watch. All right, let me just dry that so it doesn't smear. We're gonna get going. So I'm just gonna put black velvet paste on here. So we're going to find a corner and lift it up, or you can even do it from the middle. But first, let me scooch all back so that you can see a little bit better, okay? Better? All right, so here we go. So we're gonna take this off. Just like so. Now, I'm going to show you a way that it's easier to manage. Take it off and stop kind of in the middle of the transfer. Okay, these are reusable. They have silk screen in them, and that silk screen is what allows our chalk paste to go through. So I am fuzzing it, applying lint to the back of it. And I don't know if y'all can hear that, like, it sounds like a ripping sound, but it really isn't. But it's just, I don't know, it's applying lint to the back, okay? So I am going to fuzz this really well because it is going to stick to this surface pretty darn good, okay? And it is super sticky. So this is called a fuzzing cloth. Comment the word tray to get all the supplies. T-R-A-Y. All right. Now, I'm going to just slide the rest of the transfer off of this backer sheet. Now, do not throw this away, because you're going to need this to put your transfer back on once you're finished with your project, okay? All right, everybody do me a favor and hit the heart button for me. Okay, so I'm just going to continue fuzzing this and being extra careful so that I don't lift up the transfer and then it folds on itself. Okay, this, like I said, I haven't used before. I'm very interested to see what it's going to look like on this tray, y'all. So the tray is new. It just released. It is reusable. So there's that. You can make all sorts of designs on your tray. Change it out for the holiday. Hi, friends. I hope your day is a fantastic. We're just doing some midday crafting. If you're catching me on the replay, just comment #replay in the comments. My name is Amy from A to Z Designs, and you are here watching this quick tutorial, okay? So I know this is boring to watch, the fuzzing process, but I like to be extra careful with my transfers. Like I said, this one is really sticky. Like, holy smokes. Okay, so let me do it diagonal, and then I'm going to show you what I like to do as I'm kind of shifting things around my area. So I folded it with the sticky side facing out. Okay, and I'm going to grab my tray, and I'm actually going to lay this right now on the fuzzing cloth itself and show you this tray. So this is double-sided. However, the handles are only going to go on one side. But I don't know. There we go. Can you see like the wood grain imprints there? Okay, this is reusable. So we're going to stick the screws up from the bottom because the holes are bigger. All right, so the screw head is going to sit right inside that hole. The smaller holes go face up. All right, so I'm gonna bring this back over here. And again, just make sure that it is nice and fuzzed. Okay, I'm gonna open up my chalk paste. We're gonna use black velvet, and I grabbed a small squeegee. That is one of our larger squeegees. And away we go. Okay, y'all ready for this? All right, fold sticky side out. Layer surface down. Okay, I am using my healing mat just to kind of line it up. It doesn't really matter with the transfer because there's no lines in this transfer. So it doesn't have to be like straight, okay? So I'm going to lay this down probably right about there. All right, I'm gonna put my hand in the center, and I'm just gonna start pushing away from the center to make sure that I don't have any air bubbles. Okay, that is super important. All right, and away we go. Let's do this. Hi, Lisa, thank you so much. All right, friends, ready? Here we go. So we're just going to drag our paste over the silk screen. Now, notice how my paste is starting to come off like on the outside of my squeegee. Just lift it up when it does that, or kind of turn your squeegee sideways to offload that on another section of your project. Okay, and then just be mindful when you get to the edges that you don't have any like major paste going over those edges. Just pick it up and lay it back down on another section of your project. Okay, so you want to lift or pick up the excess. Don't let it sit there in clumps on your project. You want to make sure it's as smooth as you possibly can get it. I'm going to work very fast because I do not want this to dry up here where we started. And we're gonna see what this looks like, y'all. Like I said, I've never used this pattern before, but I think it's gonna be very, very pretty. We shall see. All right, pick up my excess, put it down on the tray.
Quiet. She's trying to watch you from work.
Oh, shh.
Did you wax the surface?
I did not.
And Dawn wants to know, what are the dimensions of your surface?
Ooh, that's a really good question. We'll have to measure here in a second. I do not know.
Where's your box for it?
I threw it away.
Oh, well.
All right, here we go. Ready, Zach? I'm going to hand you this.
I bet you took it 12 by 9.
I can measure it right here on my board. All right, so I'm going to lift this up. Really difficult. Woo-wee. Oh, my goodness. That is super pretty. Oh, y'all, that's so pretty. Now, I'm taking my finger along the outside because some of the paste got on the sides. No big deal.
I thought it bled, but that's just the hole.
Nope. No bleeding.
No bleeding.
All right, Zach's gonna take that to the sink and he's gonna clean it. And we're just going to dry it because I want to install the hardware that you get with it. And I want to make sure that it's 100% dry before we do that. Okay? Hi! Hey, Annette, how are you? Comment the word tray, y'all. Good afternoon. It's good morning here still, but some of y'all on the East Coast. All right, let's get this dry. This looks really pretty, and it's not like in your face, like bold. Now, I will tell you that I did get paste in this one hole over here. I am going to take, I keep these little, it's almost like a Q-tip handy in my drawer. And I'm just going to get the paste out of that hole. Okay? All right, dry, dry, dry. Y'all do me a favor, put your thumb on the heart button, sprinkle the video out. It is Elizabeth. How are you? Hello, friends. Julie's in Canada. Good morning. What time is it in Canada? Is it like super early? I don't even know the time difference. But what we're going to do next is I'm going to show you how to put the hardware on, or the handles. Got me a screwdriver, y'all. But I highly recommend before you do that, you make sure that this is dry. Don't rush, okay? And there really isn't a whole lot of paste on here because that Flourish pattern, the silk screen is very, very small. But this looks awesome. I'm loving this. But yes, it is reusable. Who would have thought, right? Oh, okay. Ontario's 12:15, Susan's 1:15. Wow, so like, I guess Canada is like the whole thing, right? All right, let me check it out. 1 second. Y'all, this is so cool. Okay, I think we're good. So now I'm going to attempt to install this. Let's see what happens. So you get 2 screws for each handle. And I thought what we would do is I'd set it sideways. Put the screw here. Put one there. One there. And eventually it's going to make its way up through the top of your tray, and then I'm going to attempt to line these up. So far so good. So it's not difficult, y'all. Anybody can do this. And then we're going to grab our screwdriver and do the rest. So this is like, what is it called? A star-headed screwdriver? Is that the proper name? All right, so let's get this completely screwed on. Ooh, and I love that the screws are not going to stick out so that you're not going to scratch your surface that your tray is sitting on. That is genius. I love that. Yay, Susan, you Phillips head. Okay. Is it a Phillips head and a flat head? I don't know. I just call it star. It's not really a star, but all right. So there is one handle. Let me put a little oomph into this last bit here. But the screws are flush with the tray. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so now we're gonna flip it over again, and we are going to open this with one hand. Try to. Okay, so there's the handle, and here, and I'll tell you how much the measurements are. Hold on. Okay, so I thought I could do it one-handed, but all right. So here we go. Ready? Screw in. Screw in. Now I am just screwing it to where it is barely showing on this side. Okay. Then we're going to take the handles, or the handle, and help kind of guide it into the screw. Maybe, baby. Hold on. Okay, let me screw this one on. Stay. There we go. Yay. Awesome. Hi, Juanita. You can get this by commenting the word tray. You're going to get a message from us, and you're going to click on shop products, and then you're going to click on chalk products, and in that will be all of the supplies that you see me using today, minus the screwdriver. Okay, you're not going to get the screwdriver. You will have to show up with your screwdriver, but I do sell these supplies. Okay. Hi, Judy. Anita, it's because of the way the transfer is. The transfer is very elegant. It's little bitty tiny dots in that transfer. Okay, and I'll show you. I think it's dry, but this is 17 by 11, the tray. Okay, so let me show you the transfer. That cleaned it for me, but you see how the dot, there's itty bitty tiny little dots of silkscreen there, okay? It's not an open 100% silkscreen. So let me bring you forward, and y'all, we have a tray, and that is gorgeous. Is it not? I love it. It's so pretty. So comment the word tray, y'all. Hit the heart button, and we'll see you later. Bye.